Lions, you must have felt like you were in total control of the match really until that 53rd minute, and then like explain what happens and how the game changes.
Exactly, as you said, it's a tough one because we were in control of the game. We scored one, we could score more. We didn't concede nothing. They just said me also in terms of data stats. We had so many shots first half, 70% of possession. Everything was fine. And then suddenly, because of our mistake, and then with the red card, again, the plan completely changed. So for me, we played 2 games, first half, and then, unfortunately, after the red card.
Simon?
Hi, is it, how frustrating is it that you keep making life hard for yourselves, essentially? Like you keep making mistakes. Is that a sign of inexperience, or what is it? And secondly, of course, Chalobah is now suspended for the Liverpool game. I asked you this yesterday. Does this remotely make you think about Axel Desase as a bench option next Sunday?
No, the first one was.
Are you just making life hard for yourself?
Yeah. For sure you cannot continue to make mistake. Also because they are big mistake in terms of game change. The red card United and the red card today. And then after that we try to adjust a little bit with Josh Achipong inside. That was 1 week ill. Josh, in that moment, our 2 central defender was Josh and Jarell. That both they are for sure fantastic player, fantastic talent, but not so many games in the Premier League. So also when you are with 10 players, it's a moment that you have to manage situation, and then the other one again, the same answer than yesterday. The club didn't mention me nothing. So there is not any news.
Andy?
Hi, Enzo. Oh, yeah. Can I ask how concerning is it as well that the incident at the end of the penalty box with Badiashile and Lewis Dunk, lots of pushing and shoving, that there was a loss of control there as well, because it was 1-1, your team was down to 10 men. Badiashile particularly was getting involved in the rest of the match with Lewis Dunk to the extent that Sanchez had to drag him off and was being quite vocal with him. Surely a message for your players, in that situation, there has to remain professionalism and control, because maybe it's coincidence, but afterwards they conceded 2 goals after that incident.
I didn't see that moment that you just mentioned, so I don't know if it's from Benoit or it's from the Brighton player. I think also it's matter of the momentum there. But I don't see these kind of things a consequence for the goal, that a reason why we conceded then the goal.
So it's like the message maybe is to not let yourself get wound up if things are going against you. That has to be a key message, I would imagine.
No, yeah, but the message that we just said inside has been quite clear. As any team in the Premier League, you cannot continue to give away present, because what we are doing in this moment is to give away present in terms of red card. That is a big mistake, because the game completely changed.
Matt?
We saw one of the owners and the sporting directors down very early. Some of the Brighton players were still on the pitch. They were down very early, went to the tunnel area. I wondered if they'd been in the dressing room to say anything to the players and you, because they seem to be heading that way.
No, they have been inside the change room like always. We have an office inside the change room where after every game we sit and we talk about the game. But they didn't say nothing to the players. It was not nothing completely different compared to the rest of the game.
They just seemed down very early today, but maybe that was coincidence.
No.
Okay.
Jacob?
You brought on a lot of defensive-minded players after the red card and 1-1. Was there not a temptation to use some of the forwards to kind of change the flow of the game, counter-attack better?
Oh yeah, we did the first change, that was Josh for the red card, for Andrei, and because we need a central defender in that case. Then the reason why Malo was inside was just because Minte was many times 1v1 with Reece, so we tried to give Reece help in that situation to defend the 2v1. And then the last change, yeah, Jarrell was asking for a change because he was with cramp, so we didn't have so many opportunity to change with 3 slots.
In the front, please.
Enzo, you talked earlier about mistakes and presence. What do you attribute that to? Is it just natural that a team that's so young will make mistakes and they'll learn from those mistakes? Is it injuries? What do you attribute to?
No, it's just for sure. It's we need to learn, and we need to learn quick. So the reason why can be a mix of experience or can be a mix of simple mistake. Then in terms of injury, I think that if you just watch first half today, you don't think about the injury players, because first half again we were in control, dominated the game, and then again it's I would like to tell you something different, but at the end it's the reality. In the last 2 games, unfortunately, with 2 red cards, everything changed.
Okay, thanks guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Chelsea 1-3. Brighton vertical bar. Maresca's fury after another red card disaster. Right, Chelsea fans, we need to have a proper chat about what's just gone down at the bridge. Another red card, another collapse, and Enzo Maresca is absolutely fuming, and honestly, he's got every right to be. What we witnessed against Brighton wasn't just a defeat, it was a complete surrender, and the gaffer's not mincing his words about it. Look, we started brilliantly, didn't we? Enzo Fernandez nodding home in the 24th minute from Reece James's deflected cross, completely dominating possession with 70% in the first half, and Brighton couldn't get a sniff. Bart Verbruggen was working overtime between the sticks for the Seagulls. We looked in complete control, and then came that moment in the 53rd minute that changed everything. Trevoh Chalobah sees red for bringing down Diego Gomez, and suddenly, we're playing with 10 men. Again, that's 2 matches in a row now, and Maresca's had enough. The Italian didn't hold back in his post-match interview, and here's where it gets proper spicy. Blues. He's literally calling it giving away presents. And before we dive deeper into his absolutely scathing assessment, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because we're bringing you all the inside stories, exclusive analysis, and honest takes on everything Chelsea. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next as we navigate through this rocky patch together. Now, let's talk about what Maresca actually said, because this is crucial. He's not just disappointed, he's properly livid. We cannot continue to make mistakes, he said, and you could see the frustration written all over his face. He's talking about big mistakes that completely change games. First Robert Sanchez at Old Trafford last week against United, now Chalobah today. The gaffer's basically saying we're playing charitable football, handing out gifts like it's Christmas morning, and he's absolutely spot on. These aren't just little errors, they're game-changing disasters that are costing us points we can't afford to lose. What's even more telling is when he was asked about the scuffle between Benoit Badiashile and Lewis Dunk that led to all that pushing and shoving. Maresca claims he didn't see it, but the timing's suspicious, isn't it? Right after that incident, we completely fell apart. Danny Welbeck equalises in the 77th minute with a close-range header, then in stoppage time, absolute chaos. Maxim de Kuyper puts them ahead in the 92nd minute, and Welbeck adds insult to injury with his second in the 100th minute, lifting it over Sanchez. 3 goals conceded after being in complete control. That's not just poor game management, it's a complete mental collapse. Here's what's really concerning though. Maresca mentioned having to bring on Josh Achiampong after the red card. He's talking about our young players like Achiampong, saying they're fantastic talent, but not so many games in the Premier League. We're relying on youngsters to bail us out when the senior players are making schoolboy errors. The boss was forced to make tactical changes, bringing on Malo Gusto for Estevao to help Reece James defend against Yankuba Minte's pace. We're constantly firefighting instead of controlling matches. Andre Santos made that poor back pass that led to the red card in the first place, another example of the lack of composure throughout the squad. The ownership were down in the tunnel area early, spotted by journalists heading to the dressing room area, while Brighton players were still celebrating on the pitch. While Maresca says they didn't say anything different to the players in their meeting afterwards, you've got to wonder what's going through Todd Boehly and the board's minds. We've dropped to 7th in the table, and with Liverpool coming up next, and Chalobah suspended for that one, things aren't getting any easier. Maresca's message to the squad was crystal clear in that dressing room. We need to learn. And we need to learn quick. He said the reason for these disasters could be a mix of experience or can be a mix of simple mistake. But at this level, in the Premier League, you simply can't afford to keep making them. This isn't about bad luck or tough decisions. It's about discipline, composure, and basic game management. We had control of the match, 37 minutes to defend with 10 men and a lead, and we completely bottled it. The gaffer even admitted that if you watched just the first half, you wouldn't think we had any injury problems. We were that good. But the second these situations change, a red card, a bit of pressure, we crumble like a house of cards. 2 red cards in 2 games isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern, and Maresca knows it. Until we sort out this mental fragility and lack of discipline, we'll keep dropping points we can't afford to lose. The boss is trying to build something here, but the players keep undermining it with these presents to the opposition.